I've related how when I was getting into my relationship with a Nazi concentration camp survivor about 50 years ago, I got to the point where, okay, let's have the relationship, okay? And then suddenly, it was as if things came to a strange halt in the progression of whatever we were doing toward that relationship, you know, and this person that I was about to get in a relationship with, you know, she was suddenly like showing uninterest. She was as if showing uninterest in the whole idea. You know, I was thinking, what's going on? My God, she's been, I hate to say it this way, but this is the way I say it in my own mind, so I apologize. She's been chasing after me madly for months, and finally I say, okay, let's go with this. And suddenly it's as if she's lost interest. Well, I thought about that for like 40 years, and then finally I said, you know what it was? That husband who was never home, suddenly he must have started staying home for some reason. Okay? And that's the reason why things came to a halt. That husband who was never home, he decided to stay home for a while. That's what it was. Now, I'm at a point now with you, Bishu, see what I'm saying. Where are you, okay? Okay, once again, the way this looks to me, and I'm saying this is the reality, you called out to me, and I'm so glad you did. This is not a criticism. I wouldn't have dared have called out to you, man. After the kind of life I've had, I wouldn't have dared think that I could have to do with anybody like you. And I think you can see by now that I myself have dragged my feet. I've been as conservative as a person can be in my approach to this whole experience. I have been. I mean, especially seeing what I've seen come from you. I mean, I'm seeing signs like I love you, or I've fallen in love with you, and all the rest. I'm not even going to say what those signs were. And I'm seeing those signs, my initials coming at me, and these symbols clearly indicating that it's me that you're talking about. Some people would say, and you didn't madly get in touch with her? No. I dragged my feet the whole way out of fear to this very moment, okay? But by now, I've let you know. I said, I've been to your country 3 times or so, and there's no more I can do. You know? These folks that are opposing me get into a relationship with you, they got ways of just ruining everything I might do. So I'm powerless, and I'm saying to you, if you want to be in this relationship, you got to come to me. I cannot get to you. It's not a question of courage, okay, or even intelligence. I simply am up against an overwhelming enemy. And these are the facts. So here's a possibility of what's holding this up. Okay, and I'm not saying this is true. Okay, this is speculation, which I would hope not to be doing, but you know, this thing is going on and on and on. I'm waiting and waiting, and I was out in the trailer tonight. Nobody came down the street at all. Tonight or last night? I was out there last night. No one came down the street at all. So, you know, I'm not saying anything I'm about to say is true, okay? I'm just saying, since I'm somebody in solitary confinement, and I got freedom of thought, and I'm in this solitary confinement, and I got to do something with myself, here's some of my thoughts, okay? Remember that video that I believe you made to communicate with me, and you made that video without showing yourself. All you ever showed were like your hands. Okay? That's all. And in that video, there was one point where you were going to get yourself, you were at this hotel, you were like trying to show viewers on YouTube, here's a hotel you might want to stay at. Okay? And I forget the name of this hotel, I do. But it was the kind of hotel that like didn't even have a desk clerk. The whole thing was automated. So if you wanted to have like a concealed meetup with somebody at a hotel, here's the ideal place. There's not even a desk clerk. The whole thing is automated. So anyway, at one point, you go into this machine, like in the United States we would call this a Coke machine, but this is a highly advanced Coke machine. Coke is in Coca-Cola, okay? Okay, where you put your money in and you get like a soft drink, right? But in this machine, you're going to get an alcoholic drink. Okay, I don't think I've ever seen a machine that dispenses alcoholic drinks in the United States. I don't know, but I don't think I've ever seen such a machine. They don't have those here. So anyway, you go to this machine. I don't know if this was in the hotel or near the hotel at a convenience store nearby. Okay, I have this video, but I don't even know where it is. I've got like hundreds of videos. If I ever like wanted to get down like a scholar and go through everything, I have everything saved. But I don't even have a computer anymore because my wife and I have been so massively harassed that forget about having a computer. You're so harassed on a computer, nothing works. And what are you going to do? You're going to put this computer aside, get a new one? These folks would love, one of their tactics, the harassers of me and my wife, break things so we got to go buy something new, and I just won't do it. If my computer won't work, I'm not going to get a new one because it should work. So I've been without a computer like 2 or 3 years now. I don't have a computer at all. I got 5 phones like the one I'm recording on. Each one costs like $150. Okay, now, so I'm not going to get a computer, and so until I beat these harassers and I can depend that if I buy a computer, it's going to work, and nobody's going to be in there messing with me when I'm trying to use my computer, okay? Until this ends, no computer for me. So, anyway, I have that video saved and all, and at one point you're at this machine and you're going to get an alcoholic beverage from it, okay? So you go up to the machine, presuming this is you, and it might not be, so I could be completely wrong from start to finish on this. You did not make that video. You had nothing to do with that video at all. And I'm saying you did and you didn't. So this whole thing is groundless. But if you did, since I'm in solitary confinement, what time is it? It's about 5 minutes after 6 a.m. on Sunday, the 19th of July, 2026. And so you go up to the machine, you put your money in, whatever, and then I think you put your cup in there, and then you're going to choose which alcoholic drink, and you chose one with an amber color. To me, that means whiskey. I have never drank, I don't know how to say that word. I have never drank or drunk whiskey ever. Whiskey to me is a poison. Now look, I don't mean to be scolding you. I'm just talking about me. I don't know anything about you, whether you've ever had it or not. I don't know, but to me, it was something that the man of the year was drinking all the time. He was an alcoholic and a severe one, and he was drunk all the time. And he used to have these scolding sessions of me where he'd just be railing at me like a drunk, and I had to sit there and take it. So whiskey, I got like, my spine is up and my hackles are raised just to mention the word whiskey, okay? So when I see that I was thinking it was you're choosing to drink whiskey, I'm thinking, oh God, I hope she's just showing people how to do this. She doesn't really drink this. But then if this was you got the whiskey, and then what did you do? You had some ice, but some ice went into the glass, and then when you got the glass, you went like this, like you rolled the ice around in it, and then you drank it. And I said, oh my God, that's like a seasoned drinker. And, you're going to roll the ice around. It looked like somebody who had been drinking these kind of drinks a lot. This wasn't somebody who didn't know how to use this. Now, at another part of that video, if this was you were like seeing what was in that hotel. So you reach up and there's like a hair blower, but you don't know what it is, and you're reaching for it, you get a see what it is, and you drop it. So I say, when I see things like that, I said, this is a person who is not like some predatory anchor in the news who's going to have sex with one fan after another. The fan writes, oh, you're so great. I say, oh, why don't we meet at this hotel and chat? And has sex with fan after fan. The way the writer Norman Mailer did with fans of his. He was doing this all the time. Fans were writing him, women were writing him letters, and he was having these concealed affairs with one woman after another, all through his life. Okay, so people do this who are successful. Okay, and I'm thinking, when I see this video, I said, no, this is not somebody who does that. Okay, because she doesn't know what's in that hotel. If she had been to hotel after hotel after hotel with fans, she wouldn't be there wondering, well, what is this? A hair blower, a hair dryer, whatever they're called. I don't use one, so I don't know what the name is. Is this a hair dryer? And she drops it. Oh, it's a hair dryer. See what I mean? You wouldn't be doing that if you've been into hotel after hotel after hotel. Wouldn't have done it at all. So I say, okay, this is not a predatory anchor woman. She's telling me in this video, this is something I do not want with you. I don't want a night in a hotel with you, okay? I'm showing you that. I hope you get it. Okay, so, but when she goes over, and I'm not saying you, right? Because I don't know if it's you. When she goes over to this alcoholic drink machine, now I'm seeing that this person who's made this video, who I thought was you, this is somebody who drinks. Now, that doesn't mean you're an alcoholic. However, I saw some signs while you were talking that were kind of like this, like you were saying, AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't know if they have that in your country. So I could be completely wrong, but I saw that and I thought, well, way back when I saw that, a couple of years ago now, I was thinking, she wants to tell me she's had an alcohol problem. And now that I saw that whiskey in the glass in that video. So there's the alcohol. And now she's telling me I've had a problem with alcohol. Now the other day I said, you are probably a bona fide genius, which means I'm saying because of that video I saw of you when you were like 17 years old in appearance. I'm saying maybe it was because you were 17, meaning you graduated from college when you were like 16. There are people who do that. You read about them in the newspaper. Well, nobody reads newspapers anymore, but on the news you hear this person just graduated with 12 years old from college, getting a PhD at age 16, this kind of thing. It does happen, and there have been television shows about people like that. And so I'm saying to myself, yeah, it was clear to me, even if it's not true that you graduated from college at age 16, even if it's not true that you have a registered IQ that tells everybody you're a genius, from what I've seen of you, you are a genius. You don't need to have the papers. You don't need to have graduated from college at age 16. You are a genius without all that, okay? Let's just be straight on that. Now, however, because you are a genius, that doesn't mean you can't be an alcoholic. Okay? I was thrown in with all these diseased folks. Okay? And I've been in, well, I'm as far as distancing myself every day, more distance between me and them. I'm going to try creating more and more distance as the days pass. Okay? But for a lot of years, I was thrown in among all those folks. Okay? So that alcoholics, they end up in a state mental prison with the people with the diseases that are what you might mostly associate with a mental prison. Okay? Schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, schizoaffective disorder, whatever, okay? These kind of things, right? Personality disorder. Mental diseases like that is what you can expect to see in the mental prison. However, also in the mental prison are alcoholics. Now, maybe they also have something else, but when I met alcoholics in mental prison, they would usually tell me I'm an alcoholic. Okay? So, they didn't say, and I'm a schizophrenic, and I'm a bipolar disorder, whatever. No. They would say, I'm an alcoholic, and that's it. Okay? So, because you are a genius, that doesn't mean you can't be an alcoholic. So, I said, I saw AA, and I don't even know if they have that in your country, you know? But it seemed like I did, and then I saw you're rolling like a seasoned drinker, and I'm saying, oh God, oh my God. Now, maybe the weight is, and maybe you're having gone from regular appearances to occasional appearances was due to your telling your employer, look, I'm an alcoholic and I need treatment. So, can you bear with me till I get through this? Okay, and your employer is being good to you. He said, yeah, okay. You're our best meteorologist. You're unbelievable. We love you. You've done a great job for us. Okay. However, your final appearance does not agree with that interpretation. Okay. Your final appearance, okay, when you're saying things like, now I've been the meteorologist here for so many years and I've been privileged to do that. The way you were addressing the audience was that you were not in a friendly relationship with your employer at that point. Okay, you were saying that what I just suggested you were saying. Okay, without having to say more. Okay? And so, maybe what happened is you told your employer you have alcoholism and so on, and he didn't like that. He, she, they didn't like that, and so they said, well, we'll have you exit in a real diplomatic way. We'll start out saying this is your end of your regular appearances. You're going to appear now and then, and we'll just slowly work you out of the schedule. Okay? And you were saying okay to them, but you're saying you didn't like that. When you were saying goodbye, it was clear that you were not happy about the way things were working out. So that doesn't mean that you have not had a problem with alcoholism. In the speculation scenario that I'm sketching, which may have nothing to do with you at all, it may be completely wrong. Okay? So, let's say that you were having a problem with alcoholism, you were going to get treatment, and you got the treatment, and that's why things were dragging on and on and on, and then suddenly you had a relapse, like within the past few months, or who knows, you had a relapse, you drank again, and now you're back in the AA program. I don't have a drinking problem. I don't drink at all. Okay, I was drinking a little wine with dinner and then I stopped because it was too expensive. There's bottles of wine we were buying, big Gallo. I don't know. It's like a gallon of wine. They cost like around $20, and you go through them. Even if you're drinking one glass of wine with dinner every night, that's all I was drinking because I thought it was red wine because I thought it was good. I've seen all these things about how it's good for your health. But then I was thinking, $20 every so many days. I said, forget it. My wife didn't like it either, so I stopped. So now I don't drink anything at all. Zero. And I've been that way for most of my life. No alcohol at all. So you had a relapse. Okay, now if you had relapse, you're back in some kind of treatment. Now, I'm not familiar with in detail with what happens in the treatment of alcoholics. I'm not familiar with what happens there. So I don't know where you are in that. I know it's a 12-step program and all this. And there got to be other ways to deal with that than that Alcoholics Anonymous. But anyway, I don't want to get into controversies and arguments over things like that, okay? Those are perfectly valid ways of dealing with alcoholism that I know nothing about. I'm no authority, and I don't want to express an opinion even in this area. So, if you had a relapse, then maybe that's why you're not showing up. That's the reason. Just like way back when I was, hey, all right, let's do it. Suddenly, where is she? But she's working and so on and is acting like nothing's going to happen. I'm thinking, well, finally something did happen one day, but yeah, and it started up. But there was a time period like this. This is far more complex, and the waits are much longer on this relationship. This is a completely different kind of thing. But looking for analogies, I'm going to say that this wait now could be because you had a problem with alcoholism and recently you had a relapse. So that's what's the reason for the wait. So now, just like I said, back then, nothing was happening. Well, probably what was happening, as I say, that husband who, and I don't want to criticize him. Okay, I don't want to sound like I'm ragging on him. I heard from her that he was this, that, and the other, but that's all I heard. I only heard her side of the story. And I believe it, and if he tried to talk to me, which he's not, I think he's passed away by now. I haven't followed up on that, but he would have a difficult time convincing me that she was wrong about anything she was saying because she was my friend and he wasn't. So, but I'm saying that I've only heard her side of the story, so I'm not gonna be too overwhelming in her favor, although I am 90% on her side in all of what she said. So I'm saying she wasn't showing up probably because this man was staying home suddenly. For years he was never there. He was there a day or two, then gone for weeks. There a day or two and gone for weeks. He was never there. But suddenly, for some reason, he was there. So with you, I'm saying it's got to be. At first I thought, okay, maybe you were going through a divorce because you had wedding rings on and all that. So I thought maybe you're going through a divorce and then there were no wedding rings. So I thought, okay, she went through a divorce. So if you went through a divorce, what's next? Well, there are some other things too. I've said, well, why don't I go on talking? There are other possibilities here, okay? Here's one that I love, okay? In certain videos that you put on what I used to call your website, you had on music from that musical comedy. I think it's called Annie. I'm getting stage right here. Annie, made from a comic strip in the United States, okay? Where there was a billionaire named Daddy Warbucks. I didn't read this comic. It was in the paper while I was growing up. I never read it. But they made a musical comedy, and I never saw it. Also, I never, I don't know the story, but I looked it up because I saw this music on your website, and the theme song from that is Tomorrow. You're going to love somebody tomorrow. Okay, and, you know, since I read a little about what the story was there, this girl is so badly abused. Where is love in her life? It's going to be tomorrow, right? It's not now. When is it? It's going to be tomorrow, huh? Well, when people who are living an awful life like I have, I see the truth of that. America's going to be a great country tomorrow, maybe. It's not now. I'm going to have true love tomorrow. I don't have it. Everything's going to be okay tomorrow. So it's a good song. I like the song. So I thought to myself, why is she putting that on there? Well, I'm thinking to myself, I'm technically married, but according to my religion, I'm single. As I've said over and over, when I converted to Judaism in 2020, one of the first things the rabbi said to me when the conversion was complete, she said, "You are now you are now a single man." I'm a single man. I had never planned on being this was never in my mind. But I said, I'm a single man, okay. Well, I didn't think anything of it, but then you came along. And I'm thinking, okay, well, what, you like me? Hey, I'm a single man. The rabbi told I'm a single man. Yeah, okay. So, you being familiar with this situation, he's a single man, but he's also married. So, how am I going to get him over to my country? Well, maybe I can adopt him. So I put this song, I put it on there, and I read up on adoption in your country. All I got to do is agree to it. You say, do you want me to adopt you? And I say, I'm an adult, so I say yes, and I sign my name, and I'm adopted. That's all. And you put me in the family register, and now I'm adopted. So I can now be a citizen of your country, no problem. Okay? And we don't have to get married. Well, so you adopt me, you adopt my wife. Maybe you adopt our son, you adopt all three of us. Because you know we're in desperate situation, we've been abused. And you're the only one of the 8 billion people alive who understand all that. So you're saying, I'm going to adopt them. I get all of this. That's how I'm going to get them over here. I'll adopt all three of them. So you're going through the legal channels, which are very complex, somehow. Because you want to make sure if you do this, somebody doesn't get in there at the last minute the way they got in there, poisoned my food in the plane. So that when I arrive in your country the first time, water is squirting out of my ass every time somebody looks in my eyes. So can I have your passport, please? Yeah, I don't know your language. I don't know your country. I don't know how to speak a word. I don't have internet on my phone. Water's squirting out of my ass. I'm considered to be Fruit Loop crazy. There's nobody I can call for help anywhere in the world. I can't even reach my wife. Okay? And this is happening to me. So I'm Fruit Loop crazy, but I made it through that. So I could go on with the other challenges I faced trying to meet you over there. So I'm now lost. What was I saying? Oh yeah, you're gonna say I understand. I'm the one out of the 8 billion people alive who get you, AJ. I do understand, and I want you here with me. So I'm gonna adopt you. So you're doing that, and that's what's causing the holdup. That's another possibility, and there are others as well. There are others as well, which I'm not going to talk about. I've talked about those, and that's enough. Bye for now.